I tend not to take things too personal because it ain't just me. Like, everybody going through something, everybody experiencing something. Like, they ain't gonna see that experience through their eyes. So I could be the villain in your story and I could be the hero in mine. You never know. You never know. So I just move with integrity and move with the values and principles that I stand on. And I move through that. And I live through that and I stand on it. But that's my experience. I'm not going to discredit nobody because they don't share the same experience. I'm not going to say that you're less than because you may not have the same morals or principles that I do. No, you going through your experience and whatever you need to learn in this lifetime, and I'm going through mine. It ain't no competition. It ain't no fucking like you trying to compete, but there's no competition because we're in totally different spaces. We're not living the same life. You don't have my eyes. You don't have my eyes, and I don't have yours. There's no competition. I'm not competing with you, with nobody. Only me. And the things that I can learn and manage to obtain and progress through this realm and experience these things, that's my journey. Like, I ain't competing no one's in competition, bro. Like, everybody's living their own thing. That's what free will is. We all here doing our own thing. Like, you think you competing with these niggas. You ain't competing with these niggas. Like, you don't know what that nigga been through. You don't know what you been through. You don't know what he seen. You don't know what you seen. Vice versa. Whatever. Like, everybody going through their own experience to learn what they need to learn during the lifetime of being physically birthed into a realm. That's it. You need to learn, fuck what everybody else got going on, nigga. Focus on you and what you need to get out of this lifetime. But that's all that matters. Nothing else matters. It just enhanced the experience. It add things to the experience, memorable things, maybe things you can also gauge on and continue to learn from. It adds elements to the experience, but ultimately, that's background noise to what you need to be experiencing and extracting from your experiences. You're the main character in your story. Fuck with anybody else. I don't care who you are. You are the main character in your story. It's your story. Not somebody else gonna be a main character in your story. Nigga, that's your life. That's your testimony. That's your story. You the main character in your motherfucking story. Now, we can share experiences to where in your story, you might have a chapter where you're at school at lunch and you might have shared the same school with somebody else who have a chapter in their story about them being at lunch, and now y'all can share similar chapters type shit because y'all both, though that moment in time was monumental to both of y'all. So y'all might have a similar chapter in y'all books, but ultimately both y'all got totally different stories. Your story's your story. Their story. You have a testimony. Everybody got testimony. It's up to you to learn the lessons from yours. And maybe if you have proper guidance, you can be a little more well-versed in how to learn and know when to start turning your antennas on to learn lessons from yours. Some real shit. That's why I can look at, I don't judge nobody, because when I hear the phrase only God can judge me, and if I have the understanding of who you are as a being, then that means you can only judge yourself. Break that down. Only God can judge me. Okay? Certain type of beings to where we are gods. If only God can judge me, that means that I am the God. Only I can judge myself. Ain't nobody else judge me. I can only judge myself. You can only judge yourself. Fuck judging anybody else. It ain't your duty to judge because you don't know what they're on or what they've been through or what they need to go through or what they need to decipher. You don't know what path or journey that they're on, so it ain't in your place to judge somebody else. It's only your place to judge yourself and where you're at and what you're on and what you're doing and what you're able to decipher. Only God can judge you, and only you can judge yourself. When they say there's a savior, that means save yourself. Savior. Save yourself. Savior. Save yourself. Save yourself. That's ultimately the message. I don't know how I led down this path, but I did some way, somehow. But it ain't no savior. You gotta save yourself. Only you can judge you. That's it. The rest of the world is just elements to your experience. But guess what? Every element in your experience is having its own experience. So don't be selfish. Extract yours. Experience yours. But don't be unknowing to know that certain elements of your experience are also experiencing theirs. And you are the background to theirs. Just like they may be the background to yours. It's life. You know where you are and where you're at. That's what it is. Know thyself. Because when you know who you are, you know where you're at, you're able to understand the lessons that need to be learned in these moments, certain moments. And that's how the initial conversation that I brought up led to this. Is like, there's a lesson I need to learn about this moment. Now, if I'm going to do that or not, that's my free will. I can choose to learn these lessons, or I can choose to ignore them. Depends on what I want to experience. If I want to experience something that's more beneficial for me, I'm going to pay attention to these lessons that I'm learning in these moments. I'm not going to ignore them. But once again, that's up to you. If you're wise enough to know when this is something that you need to hold on to, something you need to let go. You have to know. You have to have that discernment. You have to be able to decipher. That's the biggest test of life, is knowing when to let go and knowing when to hold on. That's what life is. You're here. You're staying here because you know you want to hold on. Whatever you want to do, whatever you want to see, whatever you want to feel or experience, you're holding on. Because you can let go, or you can hold on. That's life. That's the ultimate lesson of life is, am I going to hold on to this, or am I going to let this go? Ultimately, from the pixel to the bigger picture, it's the same thing. Am I going to let go, or am I going to hold on? That's free will. That's life. And that made that into more of a perspective than I've ever thought it before, other than tonight, based on the experiences throughout this day, which I stated at the beginning. It's been a wonderful day. It's been an eye-opening day. It taught me something that I didn't know. I was able to channel information that I did not have. And that's why I say I'm getting more comfortable talking to this, because as I'm talking to my phone, I'm channeling. I'm able to talk through things and get these thoughts out and express this information and not just hold it in. I have a lot of information in, but it's not meant to be held. It's meant to be let go. It's meant to be released. Like, I'm telling you, you can apply that concept on every level of life, of letting go and releasing. Like, that's breath. That's air. That's life is breath. You inhale and you exhale. That's literally the movement of life. Like, releasing and holding on, inhaling, exhaling. That's life. Apply that to every level. You master life. Like, that's it. I guess that's it. That's the end of the message for now. Y'all stay tuned. Tap in. Hope I got something out of this. It was an experience for me. It's the longest thing I ever did. All my other videos like 4 or 5 minutes long. So, I was in the vibe tonight. But y'all be smooth. Thank you for tuning in to Cigars and Cigars. That's what's up.